Hey, good morning. 6:30 already on a Tuesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. How do you feel? It's going to be wet. We're giving you a hint. This does include carrying multiple umbrellas and maybe a rain jacket if you've got to be outside. It's going to be wet. We've got our first severe thunderstorm warning of the morning. This is in southwest Mississippi around Natchez. If you're watching from that part of the state, be prepared. It's moving to the northeast there. A little bit coming out of the Baton Rouge area, moving northeasterly. It's going to be a day. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull up some radar as we go to Doc's Toyota. This is what we're looking at a little bit closer here. We've got some thunderstorms around Bay Springs. All of this moving into the Newton County area. Newton, be ready. Decatur. Y'all ought to be about like fish now. Y'all had so much rain here lately. It's been a lot through there. Montrose getting a lot of rain. And then we have the storm right here at Louin moving to the northeast there. It will be at Verba in 19 minutes. If it stays on track, that will, an hour or so, be in the Lauderdale County area. Now, we have no severe thunderstorm warnings right now locally in East Mississippi, but what is this pink stuff here? Oh, that's a thunderstorm watch until 1 p.m. this afternoon. As we look at that, that's going to be, let me back out and show you the entire area. Look at that rain coming in, and that will make its way here. Let's turn off radar for a second. As you can see, this from Meridian all the way over to Vicksburg and due south to the end of the state, to the Gulf of America, we have a thunderstorm watch taken in Baton Rouge, Jackson, and those areas there around Slidell, Houma, under a severe thunderstorm watch through 1 p.m. this afternoon. This is strong thunderstorms that's making its way from Baton Rouge. Look at this. New Iberia getting it right now. Natchez under this severe thunderstorm warning. As you'll look at this around Natchez of what we're showing here. Heavy rain there. Use caution in those areas as well. Bay Springs area, we're starting to show some light rain moving into Lauderdale County. And it's not heavy, but it is some light rain there as you'll look up. And if you're going out of Meridian there on 493, got some showers there in that sharp curve. We even have a little bit here as you're going into Kemper County, 495, and to the west of 45 there, 2 Mile Bottom, some showers. So use caution and look at the fog that we're showing in Winston County, Louisville, Philadelphia. A lot of fog this morning, so reasons to drive a little bit slower and leave home a little bit earlier than you normally do if you've got to be somewhere. It is back to work Tuesday, isn't it? That's kind of tough when you've had a 3-day weekend. We all like those. Joe, good morning there. Debbie, how are you doing? Jim, Kia, and all, are you up? And Adam? All right, let's get this day rolling. Let's go to Collinsville now. I'm going to be on track today and do this right. I really messed up yesterday, didn't I? Hit the wrong button, didn't even know that I did that. Let's get a good word here. Let's go to Collinsville First Baptist.
You know, throughout a long ministry in the local church, I have unfortunately watched many people suffer. It might be through a chronic or terminal illness, family conflict, issues in the workplace, being a victim of gossip or false accusations. All kinds of things can cause suffering. In many of these situations, though, I've seen people of faith walk through their suffering with great faith, and even when the outcome was not what they hoped for or wanted, they stood strong in the faith. That has served to inspire me, and I have a deep desire to exercise that kind of faith in my own life. In Philippians 1, 12 through 14, the Apostle Paul says, "Now I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. As a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ." Verse 14 should really inspire us all. He says, "Because of my chains, most of the brothers in the Lord have been encouraged to speak the word of God more courageously and fearlessly." Paul wrote this letter under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit while he was in prison in Rome. You would think that other preachers and believers would maybe tone it down a bit with sharing the gospel because of fear, but Paul's imprisonment actually had the opposite effect. They were inspired to speak even more courageously and fearlessly. Faith in the midst of suffering can serve to inspire others to carry on God's plan. May God give us faith that helps encourage others. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Good morning. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and we're going to be spending probably some time together today. weather day, as we have spent together closely the last few days. And, well, it's going to be for another few days as we see severe thunderstorm activity at least through Thursday and possibly Friday. Whew, it's going to be rough there. Is it me, or does anybody else remember Odie in Denver? It's a Hank Williams Jr. song. Kind of overdid it in Denver, and I just can't remember her name. Well, Denver is the place we go to with our headline story this morning. Southwest Airlines, they kind of overdid it in Denver. As they were getting ready for takeoff and got in the air, they were struck by lightning. Have mercy of mercy. The flight had to divert, and I don't know how loud it could be inside an airplane when something gets struck by lightning, but I can't think that it would be fun. Coming in, pow. That had to be loud and echo in an airplane. If that would make you scream, I don't know what would. Nobody was hurt, thank goodness. That's the good news to that little story there. I've got a metal detector. I don't get to use it a lot. Okay, it's been 7, 8 years since I turned it on. I better go check my batteries and to make sure it hadn't wore out anything. But it's fun, to play around a little bit. And mostly what you're going to get are nails and pull tabs from the 1970s. Oh, here we go in the British countryside. They got lucky as they were out. Archaeologists, I think, were really on the job there. But they unearthed a ring that they estimate to be around 200 AD, a Roman ring. Had 8 sides around it. Pretty neat there as we look at that. Be cool to find something like that. It just shows another time in our world. There's a lot under that ground that we don't know. Hawaii, anyone visiting there, planning on going? Active volcano going on now. It shot up 1,000 feet in the air with lava. Now, again, I'm probably going to mispronounce this word, but we're going to go for it. I'm feeling spunky today. And Kailua, I think, is the name of the volcano that exploded. That may not be exactly right for those on the island that can pronounce it a little bit better than me, but we do know that it's a serious situation there when a volcano goes off. We're down to 2. There were 11. Now there are 2. What am I talking about? As we go to Louisiana, New Orleans, those 11 prisoners that snuck out. There's only 2 still on the lam, and as we look at Fox News, here are the 2 that are left. Antonio Massey and Derek Groves. Those are the 2 that are out there still going. Everybody else is back in jail, safe, and they're going to be tucked in tonight with extra handcuffs. They're not going to be going anywhere. I guess they can't take away the plumbing from them, but I think they're going to secure the wall behind the plumbing from now on. Who builds prisons like that?
Yeah, they got a bunch of family members arrested over all this stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of family members. If you aid and abet, and I think that's how you say that, you will go to jail. I don't know how long you get, but it can't be a pleasant time. And we often hear that locally when somebody breaks loose. We also got the former sheriff from Arkansas, who is still on the run. I'll show his picture in a minute when I get to the story, but he's still on the run. He's accused of a lot of things. He's in deep trouble. And remember, if you aid him, you're going there also. Ooh, let's see here. Boating accidents in Florida. There was a bunch of them over Memorial Day weekend. The U.S. Coast Guard reported that 13 people were injured. Boat caught on fire. That's bad. The boating accidents can be just as dangerous as a car accident. And a lot of times these things are moving fast on water when they shouldn't be. We know that. Let's see here. Nash Vegas has turned... let me find the right word. How did Johnny Carson do it? He'd hold his head. Oh, yeah, it's liberal now. That was the word I was trying to think of. But we've got problems there as the Nashville mayor is being investigated for aiding and abetting illegal aliens. They really and truly, and it's been, I hate to admit this, I used to go every year to Nashville. I have not been now in probably 20, I guess. Ooh. My radio career took a different turn, and I quit going. But you could even see back then, 20 years ago, as they were distancing.
There you go.
That boy, that's a tough word early. Themselves from being the home of country music, and they started being very, very liberal and not bringing up the Grand Ole Opry as much, like they're not proud of their roots. And it's a different world there now. I used to know my way around 16th Avenue. I doubt I could find it now, or if there's anything left on it. How do you know when you're going to have problems with your sponsors? Indy car driver probably knows that now after. His name is Scott McLaughlin. And he got the race started and wrecked his car. Didn't even get started. That's not good for business. I'm no Indy race car driver, but that spells trouble for your sponsors when you don't go round and around in the circle. This is too graphic to show, so we'll just tell you about it because it is bad. As Liverpool, they were celebrating a soccer win. And as we saw in New Orleans, someone in a minivan plows down through the crowd of people that are walking the streets. Eventually, the crowd overtakes the minivan and busts the window out and pulls the person who did this. It's a lot of hurting people, and I think there's at least 2 people who are deceased from this. It's a horrible nightmare to watch. How any human being could do that on purpose to hurt another person is beyond me. It tells me that that's people that are the devil, in my opinion, that want to harm others. Evil does exist. Here's an example of this morning in Liverpool. It can happen here just as it did then. You start seeing this more and more, even here in Meridian, these little water barriers to where people can't break loose and go around. That's why, because there's evil people out there. Some people think, and Odie will back me up on this, I think, what Kid Rock song was it? Tennessee Mountaintop, where Kid Rock talked about the preacher holding a Bible in one hand and having a gun in the other. Yeah, well, thank goodness this one done that. A rabbi, as we go to North Baltimore, he was walking to his car and a group of teenagers jumped him, took his keys, beat him, ran to the car, and, well, then he pulled out his Second Amendment right. They'd come back to whip him some more, and when he whipped that out, they left him alone and escaped, and they didn't steal his car. God didn't say not to defend yourselves. Never mistake that. He's okay. But they tried to whoop up on him pretty bad. He just needed Bud Brown with him, didn't he?
Oh, that's all he needed.
I'm telling you, Bud Brown's for hire. If you need security, we can get you a discount. Y'all just let me know. I think he's going to be finishing up with RW next week. He's still on detail with him. What else do we have happening this morning? Well, we got another person that is a lawmaker that decided to go to another country, El Salvador to be exact. His name is Representative Glenn Ivey. He's furious. He went down to see the guy that's in jail, and they told him he couldn't see him. He's mad, throwing a temper tantrum. I don't know, has he ever thought about doing more for his people that are actual citizens of the United States?
That's right.
Small thoughts early this morning. I saw her on the box of cereal for quite some time. She'd jump up there and flip around and go backwards there. And then she got sick not long ago, and there was a big fundraiser for her. A lot of people didn't understand that. But this morning, well, it was actually mid-month. She didn't need any help raising the $1,500 to get out of jail. I'm telling you, she could do those backflips. Mary Lou Retton, y'all remember her?
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalist about the time that old Bruce Jenner, that was back when he was a man.
Yeah.
She was on the box of life and a lot of other things. She's been arrested in West Virginia for DUI. We got a copy of it on the page. We'll show it during the show, the arrest record. Whoops. Innocent until proven guilty.
She can tumble her way out.
She could tumble her way out. She could. Volvo cutting 3,000 jobs to reduce costs in their plants. Not sure which workers that will be, but 3,000 people looking at being cut loose. Do y'all remember do you call it a caper when someone can't solve a crime, the great caper? Isn't that what Batman would call it?
A caper, yeah.
Okay, something to that effect. But the probably most secured home in the United States of America sits at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I would be one to think that in most corners and alleys of that little hallway of that home, there's a camera and, well, probably everywhere. But they couldn't seem to find out who left that white, powdery substance in the bag. They had no idea. It was a mystery. Dan Bonagino wants to find out. They're reopening the investigation as to who had cocaine at the White House. Rump Row Shaggy. Who covered it up? We'll see if all of that is told. Also, the Supreme Court, I don't know if I'd almost forgotten about this. It was a decision that the Supreme Court was going to release. Someone leaked that information from the Supreme Court. That's almost borderline giving information to other countries of leaking stuff from there. Dan Bonagino on top of that also. We'll see if they find anything on that. Don't be leaking information from there. You shouldn't. Let's see. This is bad. A jet ski driver has flown, or left the scene. Let me say it that way. A jet ski driver. You've seen those on the water. It was somebody that was kayaking. They hit him with a jet ski. They fled the scene. It was an 18-year-old young man who died. Texas is where that happened. And again, it goes back to just bad. When someone is hurt, take care of them. Don't flee the scene. This gives me the willies. There's no other way to word it. And this is a Memorial Day parade. Ohio is where we go for this. And as many parades we have here locally, you know this. And the young man was 13 years old. F-150 pulling the float. He was at the front. He fell in between the truck and the trailer. That distance in between the tailgate and there was ran over by the trailer. He lost his life in that Memorial Day parade for such a great celebration turned tragic. Watch your P's and Q's. If you've got a float coming up, make sure to watch, folks. That's almost one of those situations where it's happened. Oh, it's awful. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I want to make sure we say Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, we have 2 people that are shot, 9 others that were injured at a Memorial Day party. Why people can't get along, I'll never be able to answer that. This one would really bother me. You're on an airplane flight. Mid-air, you've got, they were diverted to Seattle quickly there. They were traveling from Japan to Tokyo. They diverted quickly to land, have people arrested as they tried to open the airplane, the door, mid-flight. My, what would make somebody do that? They were traveling to George Bush International from Japan. I said that kind of wrong. I want to make sure I got that straightened out there. It was in the U.S., but it was a Japan flight. That's bad. We're going to talk about the video of Marcone. Have y'all seen that? That's coming up with Scotty Ray and Odie at the top of the hour. We're going to talk about what went on there. Sometimes your wife gets mad at you.
Yeah.
She just hope she doesn't do it in public like happened to him. We'll talk more about that. Charles Rangel, a former longtime New York congressman, has passed away at the age of 94. Condolences to his family. 94 is a great age. We do hate that he's passed away. Condolences to his family. Such a tough time there. Again, I mentioned I wanted to show this picture as I said I would a minute ago. Again, here's that picture of Grant Hardin, former police chief that is on the run. He's still running there. If you happen to see this guy, NBC putting that out this morning, his picture there. Make sure that you call authorities on that. 30-year sentence, broke out of jail, and he is on the run. We'll be right back, and we're going to get further into this weather forecast as we move right along. All that's up and coming here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook, and remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty. Let's get into this forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Let's go to radar and look at a few of the things that are going on. Again, we got thick fog from Philadelphia northward into Winston County as we look at this. Severe thunderstorms happening here in Newton County and also northern Jasper County. No warnings at this present time as we look at radar. We got a lot of lightning popping in these areas in our southwest corner here. We've got Vicksburg in these areas. We got severe thunderstorms moving in that area. So if you're the western side of Mississippi, y'all be watching it as you'll hear the radar popping left and right. That's lightning coming up. It's just not going to hush, is it? Now, the pink area today is a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 p.m. this afternoon. Let's look into severe conditions of what we've got for today. We are under a level 2 in the Meridian area. This takes in Newton County back over to Scott County. House, Mississippi, you're under this, and most of Kemper County under a level 2, all the way down to Biloxi, taking in Mobile, Demopolis, Alabama, York, Alabama, Selma, Montgomery. This is going to go all the way over to Dublin, Georgia, Macon, Georgia area as we look at this. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow? Let's take a look at our outlook for tomorrow. It's not over as we have a level 1 for Wednesday also. Let's go ahead and look at severe weather for Thursday. Oh, yeah, it still continues for us. And we're going to have rain showers moving right on in up until Friday. We'll start getting a break on this weather come Saturday morning. So that's the good news that lies ahead. Not going to change things for now. But we've got a lot of lightning if you're traveling I-20 west toward Newton. Be careful. Now, we still got the mishap that is out near Russell on I-20. One lane of traffic right now. We've had an 18-wheeler catch fire carrying cantaloupe. We'll show you what a burn-up cantaloupe looks like right after 7 o'clock. You'd think it's Vicksburg. Pemberton back trying to protect the city. We'll tell you all about that coming up at 7. I hope you'll join us on that as well. So it's going to be a weather morning through about 1 o'clock, and who knows what will happen during the morning show. We may have to do some weather during that also. As we go back for our record highs and lows, look at this, 64. It was a warm day, 96. Back in 79, we dropped to a low of 42. As we look for the outlook for Alabama, 85 there in Demopolis. We hit Tuscaloosa at 84, 82 around Birmingham, and even Auburn, 85. Not bad weather there. As we go across, again, here's what the National Weather Service has put out. This level 2, we could see damaging winds of 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail, and tornadoes cannot be ruled out today either. We had some warnings yesterday, if you were paying attention to that. Now, our timing for the severe weather today is 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. this evening. We'll get into the breakdown of all that coming up and let you know what to expect there. What do we got? Heavy rain for the day. Look at this. We could see up to 2 inches of rain. In some areas, 3 inches. We're going to float today. Get on your Noah boots before you leave home there. This is again from the National Weather Service Wednesday and Thursday, showing that level 1 area there in the afternoons. Below temperatures right now, because of all the rain, we've had those temperatures drop from what we usually have. Here's our 7-day outlook as we'll hit somewhere around 84 to 85 today. Get down to 66 tonight. But look at this, 90% chance of rain. Showers and thunderstorms as we move into Wednesday. We will see we've got a high of 85, but a 50% chance of rain, increasing to an 80% chance on Thursday. By Friday, we're still at a 50% chance of rain, but we start to see that break on Saturday and Sunday, dropping to a 10% chance of rain. Doesn't that sound better? And again, you're not going to be able to mow your grass probably until next Wednesday, until it dries out. My, oh my, let's go another 7 days into this. 90 degrees. We've made it, and it has arrived as we make it to the 3rd of June. That was Ode to Billy Joe, wasn't it?
Ode to Billy Joe.
It was the 3rd of June, another hot Mississippi. And then it was the 6th of June when we get into Convoy. Okay, I'm going to get all that ready for that. Looks like we'll have 90, 91 all the way through June the 10th. We're getting near July. What does that mean? We'll start seeing those triple digits is probably what will happen near August. As we look at our best times to fish today, we got a southwest wind 5 to 10, but gusting up to 20 miles an hour. That's going to make it tough for those lures going across. If it's lightning, don't go. Major times to fish this afternoon is 12:30 to 2:30. We're expecting the bad weather to begin somewhere around 1. You may be able to get into some early fishing there. Minor times from 8:30. That's going to be right at dark. So your best time is going to be around lunchtime if you can get that in. Sunrise hitting at 5:50. Sunset, well, that hits at 7:54 this afternoon. If you're going to be out fishing, that's what we've got. Coming up on 6:55, we got a lot to talk about this morning. Again, I want to remind you as you're getting up, ready to come into, if you're heading east into Bama, I-20 has one lane of travel open around the 163. This will be just past Russell. It is moving now. It was shut down for a little while altogether, but it is moving. Traffic was probably slow. The streets are wet. Slow and be careful there. 18-wheeler caught on fire earlier this morning. So we'll be right back in a few moments. Join us, won't you? It kicks off at 7 a.m. live here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll be back in just a few moments as we get the day started.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.